Welcome to this live stream where I'm going to be talking about photos. Everyone's favorite thing is for me to talk about photos. Probably not. That's probably not everyone's favorite thing in the whole world, but it's one of my favorite things is talking about photography. So, in December, I tried to take a photo for every day using a film camera, which is a 35 millimeter film camera, and it's this one right here on the screen is a Nikon N80. I think actually the one on the screen is a Nikon F80, but it's the same thing, or at least similar. So Nikon N80, and I was using Portra 160 film for the entire month of December there. And my original intentions were to take a photo every day, but it's really hard to carry around a film camera with you everywhere you go. Also, I kind of limited myself with using film because you kind of want to be careful with it. And then also, I used 160, which is the ISO, which basically means it has to be really bright out for you to take a photo. If you wait till it's dark, it's going to be a lot harder to get a good photo. So I really limited myself, which meant some days I just had to take 2 to make up for the day before, or 3 or whatever. If I got behind, then I had to catch up somehow. So that's that was what I did for December. That was like one of my goals for that month, was to take a photo for every month. So I got them developed a couple weeks ago, and then I was like, this is a perfect opportunity to do a live stream. So that's what I'm doing. I'm doing a reacting to my own photos live stream. So hopefully they don't stink. Like, hopefully they're not trash. That would be quite unfortunate. I think I just put all of my text on the screen. So hopefully they weren't anything weird. All right. Well, let's take a look at them. I'm hoping they're in order, because that would also be annoying if they're not in order. Because like I took them for every day of December, so then if they're not in order, I'm gonna be confused on which day is what, or at least I'm gonna be trying to figure out when I took that. I don't even remember when I took this, that kind of thing. So. To be honest, I don't want to wear these headphones. I don't want to hear myself talk. Why am I hearing myself in my own ears? So if you just joined on Instagram, you can see the screen on YouTube. So if you hop over to my YouTube channel, then you'll be able to see the screen and watch along as I review the film for the first time. If you don't know what 35 millimeter film is, basically that's what old people used to use before they made digital cameras. And it's this thin piece of paper in a roll, and when you take a picture, the shutter of the camera opens and it shines light onto the weird chemical piece of paper. And that's basically what it does to a normal camera too, except it shines light on a digital sensor. But back in the day, it used to shine light on a weird chemical piece of paper, and then it would just stain the image with the light that came in through the lens, and then that's how film works. And it doesn't make any sense. It's magic, probably of some sort. And but anyway, I have an old film camera, and I go buy film every now and then. Portra 160 is pretty nice film, which I said earlier. That's the film that I used, and I've been pretty excited to use Portra. This is my first time shooting Portra, so there's a couple of reasons for this to be special. What's the recommended amount of dedicated WAM I should add to a server? You're actually not the first person to ask that on this stream, or on a stream, I guess I should say. What's the Christmas photo? What does that mean? What's the Christmas photo? I don't know. So here's the film here. And I actually did 2 rolls. I got 2 rolls developed, so they're on the same flash drive here. But one roll was from my month of taking a photo every day, and then one roll is from one day I just went downtown and took photos. So I'm gonna try to review them in order, which is gonna be difficult because they seem to be mixed up on here, and I remember that from other getting other roles developed is that they get mixed up. So I'm gonna try to find a way to see them in the correct order. Luckily, it came with these pieces of paper for I don't know what purpose, but it tells you what pictures are there, and then hopefully the order. Okay, so this was downtown. Okay, so here's the photos for every day, but I have no idea when I started. What? Dang, how do I how do I know when I started? I guess it doesn't make a difference, but I want it to make a difference or something. I took these last. I remember that. I must have taken that one first. Okay. This is confusing. I didn't expect it to be confusing. I probably should have just sorted them before, and then I wouldn't be in this mess. Wait, actually, if we just drop them all into Lightroom, will it sort them according to the file? That might actually be a good idea. Everyone spam Kappa in the chat. Let's get a nice let's get a nice loud Kappa. All right, I'm gonna drop these. Dude, you're getting sneak peeks at other live streams I plan to do. What in the world? That's actually crazy. I can already tell a couple of these look really awesome, and that makes me very excited. Okay. I think they're in order now. Maybe not. I can't tell. I have no clue what the order is. Oh, yeah, so those are all from one day in Savannah, and then up here's... So good grief, how many did I take? 33, 35 out of 72. Dude, I don't know what the order is, but I guess the order does not matter. So we're gonna dive into it. Let's look at the first one. I want this to take up my whole screen. Okay, here's the first image of the day. Plants. Where is this? I'm so confused. No. Wait, no. I don't remember where I took this one. But this is plants, clearly, by a window. And so the green effect that we're seeing in all the dark areas, that's what happens in 35 millimeter film when you don't expose properly. So if it's too dark, then it turns green in the dark areas. And it's kind of cool looking. You know, everybody always is like, all the beginner film shooters are like, it doesn't really matter if it looks bad because it's film, so it looks good anyway. And I definitely feel like that because this is awesome. It's grainy, it's green, it's like an old vintage feel. But when it's definitely more rewarding when you do see like a perfectly composed image. You're like, yes, I did everything right that I was supposed to do. But it doesn't always happen, but at least with film, it all still kind of looks cool. Also, this is very neat up here. There's a big old scratch on the film. Maybe a piece of dust got in there, a hair or something, I don't know, but there's a nice little scratch on there, that's pretty interesting. All right, next photo. Let's see. This one is shocking how clear it looks. It looks like it could be a digital image, to be honest. It's just very grainy. But the whites are kind of blown out there. But the dark areas look pretty good. See, they're not green, which is interesting. I'm assuming that means I did something correct there. There's also we're getting to see something else that's cool right here. This is called halation. I think I talked about this in my last live stream, but right right there where it's kind of burnt orange around that highlight. That's literally the sunlight burning the film in highlighted areas. It burns a little edge around, and that's what halation is. And this is natural. A lot of people, I put in halation to a lot of things in unnatural ways, like on editing softwares and stuff, but this is natural halation, which is really cool. Also, the picture is of my Sony a7 IV, the one that I'm doing this live stream on, if you're watching on YouTube. And then in the background, there's me as a child and this glass orb thing. I think I took that picture right over there, actually, now that I'm thinking about it. All right, next photo. This one is supposed to be the other direction, I think. There. So this is right over here. This is my the door. Wow, what a stutter. This is the door to this building that I'm in, and the sun always shines through it, and it always looks really cool, and it always makes the room glow, and I always am just kind of impressed by it. Every time I'm like leaving at golden hour or whatever, and I like look out at the door, I'm like, yeah. I'm like, that looks awesome. One day I'm going to take a picture of that. And I did. This is the picture. So you can see it's I kind of don't like in this dark area up here that it's like a weird color. It's not, I wish it was just straight like black up there. And then you get to see all of that, which you could adjust all of that in Lightroom, but I kind of feel weird about adjusting whatever it's called. I kind of feel weird about adjusting film photos in Lightroom. Like I just kind of want it to be natural. I want to do it in camera and then be done with it, and then you fix your mistakes in camera, not in post-production. So that's kind of my goal, but I do wish the top there was a little bit more dark. But overall, this is pretty cool. I like this one. This would be a good phone background or something. This is the sunset near my church, or in my church parking lot, I think. Very blown out whites. I definitely should have dialed that down a little bit, but these dark areas look pretty good. This is a hard picture to get because you've got super white, bright skies, and then you've got dark areas all around these trees and the water and stuff. So that's kind of a hard picture to take. And if you can't see it, it's really a lot harder because, like, if you think about a digital camera, you have a screen to look at, and you're like, this needs to be darker, and you just do it. But with a film camera, and especially a film camera with no, like, I can't think of what the thing's called, but it's basically this remote that tells you what settings to use. I didn't have either of those, a screen or that, so you just kind of wing it, and you just hope you got it right. And sometimes you didn't. But the oranges do look cool in this either way, and I could adjust it, but I don't think I'm gonna do that. This one's cool. I was excited about this one from the moment that I took it. The whites aren't blown out in the sky there because you can tell because you can still see the clouds. So that's kind of just, this one also would be a great phone background or just like cool printed photo because the framing here is just interesting. I like putting landscapes in the bottom and letting the sky take up the whole top of the image. That's one of my favorite things to look for recently. It's been something like that. It's pretty much a phone background photo because you leave all this space in the top for your clock and widgets and stuff, but the bottom looks cool. And then that tree is just spectacular. Let's zoom in on some of the details here because that always blows my mind that there's like this much detail in a film photo because it's film. It's just this piece of chemical paper inside of a camera. It doesn't make any sense how it captures this. It doesn't really make sense how a digital camera captures it, but it makes even less sense how a film does it. I don't know. Maybe I'm just not smart on the film things. If you kind of think about it though, you can kind of understand how cameras were even invented in the first place, and then specifically how film was invented based off of just how our eyes work. So like if I stare like at this light and then I close my eyes, I can still see the light there. And then if I stare at my phone right here and then close my eyes, if it wasn't for the dang light right here, then I could still see the phone. And you can actually even still see some details sometimes. Like looking at this picture of this trees right here and then closing my eyes, I can still see an outline of the trees a little bit. And that's basically what film is doing, but just more clearly, more detailed than what your eyelids can contain. But like it's the same concept. The light is coming through your eyes, and when you close them really fast, it is like staining your eye or your eyelids or whatever with the image. And I guess it does make sense. if you really think about it, it does make sense. But it's still confusing. How did they figure out the amount of like the chemicals that needed to be like this is what the pictures are on. That in that package right there. What? Explain it. Make it make sense. They're magicians, I'm telling you. All right, next photo. This is also supposed to be horizontal. This is a cool picture. I like this one. I think he's a little too white. The head of this deer here is a little too white, but it's all right. It's not that bad. Again, I could just adjust it. Ooh, but I'm not going to. Also, all of this pretty much was shot on a 50 millimeter 1.8 lens, which basically just means it can get very blurry. And the background blur here is really cool looking. Like it's not super circular. It kind of has these like lines and streaks to it, which is really cool. That's just an old 50 millimeter 1.8 lens that I even actually use for digital photography sometimes. But yeah, that looks really cool. And I like how the front antler is out of focus. Super cool. I think I found that deer in the woods. Didn't kill that one. I just found it. This is cool. Again, another vertical photo turned horizontal. This was early December. I'm trying to think. Again, if you just joined the old Instagram live stream, hop over on the YouTube one. You can see the whole screen. I'm trying to figure out how many people we have on here. I don't know. Oh well. Dang, this one's cool. So I barely got these drops in focus here. But dang, that's pretty cool. The background blur looks amazing in this. And I really liked the way the greens look in this Portra film. And really just all the colors look really cool in this Portra film. That's the point. That's why you buy a Portra, because then the colors look good. Okay, another lopsided image. This one's cool. Again, you can tell I was going for the same thing. The format where it's just sky and blank space in the top, and then a landscape or something in the bottom. And I think it's a cool little formatting there. This is again that same tree, and I'm pretty sure I took it on the same day, but they're out of order, so we can clearly see. Actually, no, it wasn't the same day, because this is clearly blue skies, and the other one is definitely white skies. But I like that one. This one's there's a little bit too much going on in the bottom here, I think. A little too much detail. But I'm pretty sure we have... No, maybe not. I was going to say we had some halation too, but we don't. And then the grain and stuff is cool in the sky. I like that. Interesting. What time is it? Next one. This is cool. Dang, this might be one of my favorites. Let me turn that. Wow. That's awesome. And it's like, I took this one with all the mess on the table on purpose. I was like, I'm gonna capture the homeness of home, because no one's home is clean generally ever. Like it's never perfectly clean. There's always like an Xbox wire on a plate on the table. Like that's typically how everybody's house goes, I think. I hope. But definitely my house. Yeah, that's an Xbox cable on a plate on the table, and the sun was just hitting it beautifully. It looks incredible. The shadows coming off of that Xbox cable are so cool looking. Oh my gosh. And then the light coming in different places. Oh my gosh, bouncing through the pineapple right here onto the ground. That looks incredible. And then all of the shining through this plate here looks incredible. The color is so nice. The shadow of the Coke can, the halation on the Coke can, actually. there's very faintly some kind of cup in the corner up here. Golly, this one's good. This might be my favorite so far. Definitely so far. This might be my favorite of all of them. And then a Subway bag. Oh, yeah. Dude, Subway making an appearance is crazy. That's awesome. Yeah. I love this like sunset shining on wood. It's always a good look. Great colors. And that's awesome. Dude. Standing ovation for that one. And the bad thing is I don't really know what I did different from this one to this one. Like, why is this one so green and now I can't find it. This one is so not green. The blacks are not green. They are black. What's the difference? I have no idea. I don't know what I did different. So maybe it's just props to the camera. Maybe standing ovation to the camera for just doing something different. I don't know. But no clue what I did different. I guess I just adjusted the settings properly for the table one. I don't know. All right, moving on. Next photo. I feel like this was the same day, and I was mesmerized by the sun on the wood. And this one turns out really cool. I like that one. The white is a little too much back here, but that's not too bad. Also, when you view these kind of things on a phone, it looks completely different. Or when you print them, they look completely different. So I'm pretty happy with how this one turned out. But yeah, the wood looks so pretty, and the detailing on it with the sun shining on it is so nice. Man, that's good stuff. This one's cool. I like this one a lot. You can definitely see the 1.8 50 millimeter going to work here. The back of the bus is blurry, but the front of the bus looks good. And that is definitely something I was going for, clearly. What did I focus on specifically here? The handle, like right there. You can see the focal line, like right there, because the mirror is out of focus and the front of the bus is out of focus. So like right there is the focal line. I think a lot of people forget about this, especially, I mean, if you're not a photographer, you may have not even known this in the first place. I forget about it sometimes, but the focal length moves like a line, and it's like this kind of plane that goes across. So, because the camera can't really focus on one thing and blur out everything else. Like, it can't focus on the handle. It can focus on the line that the handle is on, if that makes sense. So basically, it's moving like this, and it focuses on everything in that path based on distance from the camera. That's the best way that I can explain it, because that's the best way that I understand it. But if you have like a couple different things placed different distances from you, and you pull the focus from far away from you all the way to you, it can focus on two things at once just because they're in that same line of focus, if that makes any sense. So I like this one. Again, the blacks didn't turn green here. Like, all of the dark areas did not turn green, but the white areas look good. They're not too bright, which I think is perfect. And then there's some reflection on this old TV right here, bouncing off of the car. And the detail is very cool in this. A little bit of halation as well. Gosh, this one probably second place. I'm putting this one at second place. And I have no idea when in December I took this, but second place to the one of the plate. All right, next photo. Oh my goodness, this is crazy. I like this one a lot. This one definitely has the green thing going on in the shadows, but it's okay because it's a Christmas image. I mean, it's supposed to have some green in it. But like right there, that present shadow has some green to it. But that's pretty cool. This one's really cool. This is one of my favorites. This was definitely inspired by one of the scenes from my Christmas piano YouTube video, which you should go check out after this. And it's not Christmas anymore, but you can still watch it. But I have the shot where I kind of pull the camera out of the trees and through the presents, and it looks pretty cool. I was pretty proud of the way that one turned out. But then this is neat, and you get a lot of blur here. Definitely, I was going full 1.8. Also, This is interesting how this one looked this good even though it was 160. I guess that's why this one looks good, is because it was 160 ISO, but 1.8 aperture. So 1.8 aperture is really, really bright, but since the ISO was so low in a dark house, it ended up looking like that, which makes sense. That's pretty cool. That might be third place. We'll go plate this one. I think second place for this one. Plate this one, and then the Lego bus. All right, next up. What's our time looking like? Oh, shoot. Yeah, we're doing good. We got plenty to look at. This one's kind of cool. This one's kind of spooky. There's not much contrast here because it was a really foggy day, so you could fix that in post here on the side, but I'm just not going to because it's 35 millimeter film. But I like this one. I like this one. It's a little spooky, but that's okay. You know, some images, it's okay for them to be spooky. This one's pretty good. I don't have too much to say about this one, but it's pretty good. The whites are very white there, very blown out in this corner. I can see some sky detail right here. It's probably just because there was a bigger cloud. But yeah, this one's interesting. This one feels like one of those true crime videos or whatever. Like one of those ones on YouTube where they're like, it's like clearly an AI voice and they're like, a man was walking in the woods and he saw something. And it's just like a fake video of like a tall person. And it looks like creepy. It's just me walking in the woods and it's like, he saw a long man running, and it's just me on a jog. Dude, this perfectly represents a story that happened to me a couple weeks ago. My neighbor thought I was a bad guy, but I was just on a jog. Okay. I don't know what I'm saying anymore, to be honest. Next photo. What is happening? We're sideways again. Okay, this one had, I like it. I like the way that this one is, but it's not exactly what I wanted it to be. But it has a lot of potential, I think. I was trying to focus on the leaves and trees outside, but they're a bit too bright, so you can't really see all the details. And then it almost looks out of focus, but it's not. It's just so bright. Shots like this are really tricky to take. If you have a lot of white and a lot of black, a lot of brightness and a lot of shadows, then you're just going to have to battle with your camera settings to get them to both look good. And I think I should have just made it darker all the way around. I should have just made everything darker because I tried to go full 1.8 to get the blur of the piano, but that's just too bright for these leaves and stuff to be seen. Hey, but now I know. Maybe next time. If I ever take this picture again, I'll fix it. But I don't ever take pictures twice. That's just weird. But maybe. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe with film, it's okay to take pictures twice because you learn something. Like with digital, I would have taken this and looked at it and said, this doesn't look good. And I would have just taken it again because I'm sitting there with digital. But maybe with film, it's okay to go back another day and try again. Maybe. Next photo. I love this one. Yeah. That one's awesome. This is going on the favorites board. I don't really know where, but we'll just put this at number 4. I don't even know. It's the shadows, the sunlight, the orange, and then a little bit of green at top, and then the maroon countertop and the blur. There's just, oh my gosh, there's just so many noteworthy things here. I really like that one. Dang. I don't even know what else to say about it. I just like it. Moving on, I guess. Okay. This one's out of focus. And I don't know what happened. But I'm not at home anymore. I'm at a beach house. We stayed at a beach house for Christmas this year, and that's where I am. And the light did some interesting things in that house, and one of them was shining through this window, and I thought it was cool looking. But clearly, I missed focus, like a knucklehead. And I actually think that this is going to be happening more often. because I'm pretty sure I accidentally hit a bump, hit a switch or something on my camera and like messed up the focusing. So that's just unfortunate. So hopefully for the remainder of these, I was able to actually make it focus, but it might not be the case. But I like this one. The idea here was really good. And I like the way that the light's shining on that lamp and there's a little bit of halation. And then I love the grid of lights on the side of the wall there. I like this one, but it is out of focus, which is disappointing. Next. This one is also cool. Also, I can't tell. It's not out of focus. I focus right there. I kept seeing this, the way that the light was coming through that window and the way that it was dark all the way around, and I was like, I got to get that. That's a great photo. So I did, and I like the way that light interacts with cloth materials like shirts, blankets, towels, apparently, things like that. Like all of the ripples and wrinkles, the light just rolls off and reacts really nice with them, especially white cloth, like white fabric. Looks so cool. Like there's one scene in my mind right now. It's me in one of the videos I did on Instagram, but I had my back to the camera with the sun kind of on it, and all of the wrinkles in my shirt had like really cool lighting and shadows on them. That's one of my favorite things. So looking at this, I was like, some pictures, like especially like of the house and stuff for this series of photos I did, I guess I was not gonna like clean anything up. Like I think the naturalness of it all, it makes it look really cool, especially during Christmas time, because when everybody's over at Christmas time, the house ends up looking crazy over time. But this specifically, like, who makes their bed in the morning? Like 3 people in the world make their bed in the morning. But so this is what it ends up looking like after a while. And then there's a guitar on top of one bed and the towel hanging there. So it's very natural, very homey feeling, but then also just really interesting lighting. So that's what I like about this one. And it was a little too dark, maybe. Maybe not. I don't know. It's pretty good. I'm pretty happy with it. Next. Golly, this one looks digital. Sheesh. That's good stuff. If you threw this one at me, I'd be like, this is either a good film or a bad digital camera. Just by looking at all the detail on it. Also, I composed this one is that the right word for that? Composed? I don't know if that's the right word. Like, when you do all of the settings right, what is that called? I don't know. Compositionally, this is a good photo. We got a couple things. There's a couple noteworthy things here. Interesting framing, interesting lighting, and then it's well composed. Notice that there's no depth of field blur. Like I've done that a lot over this series here of this taking photos in December with film thing, but no blur here. And I could have gotten on the right angle or shot through something and used that 1.8, but it was also already so bright outside that I cranked the f-stop up to like 11 or something like that. And so no blur. This is one of our first images with no like background blur or whatever. And I think it looks good. I don't think you always have to use a low aperture. Like sometimes creatively, just get all the details. Don't blur out details. Just get them all. And that's exactly what I did here. That furthest south is just south. The furthest, oh no. The furthest house is still in focus, just as much as the closest house. Gosh, I could not get that out. I'm not even going to, we're moving on. I'm done talking about this. Pardon the cough. My gosh. Okay. You get it. Okay. I don't even know where I'm at anymore. Next. This is beautiful. Oh my word. The lighting out here was awesome that day. The gold looks really cool on the water, and the Savannah beaches are just disappointing, or Hilton Head beaches are just so disappointing. I would love to just go somewhere with a nice beach one day, like Puerto Rico, somewhere in Florida, maybe the West Coast. Somewhere with a pretty beach. All the beaches around here are just brown and green. It's just weird looking water. And I'm not a fan of our beaches, but if I had to pick one, I like Hilton Head. This is awesome. The bird flying just above the horizon level. That's so perfect. I couldn't have planned a moment like that. It just had to have happened. I was probably already going to take this picture. I'm pretty sure I was. I had squatted down and I got the settings just perfect and everything to take this. And then he started flying by and I was like, don't move. And then right when he got in the center, I took the picture. And that's perfect. It's literally perfect. Also, the shutter speed's at a high enough level to where you can see splashes in the wave, which I think is super cool. And also just another like another well composed image. I think with this I had a 50 millimeter 1.8 on my Sony digital camera, and I just would sometimes I'll use it as a frame of reference for my settings on the film camera. So I just hold the digital camera up and I get it all like 1.8 shutter speed at this, ISO at 160 because the ISO of the film is 160, and then I just copy the shutter speed and the aperture on the film camera. And I think that's what I did here because it's just so perfect. So the ones that are like really, really perfect, I think I wasn't just winging it. I didn't just know what settings to use like perfectly. I usually just looked at my other camera and got them right looking at the screen and then copied the settings over. And I think that's what happened here. But this one is really good. This is one of my favorites, I think, again. Moving on. This one's really cool. This one turned out good. I took a similar photo on digital. I can't figure out I think this is the correct framing. But the bokeh here, the background blur is super nice, very circular in the back areas there, and then nice and in focus on this particular leaf, and then these are all out of focus. This one's cool. I'm pretty happy with this one. The colors look nice. The greens are really cool. Yeah, it's all around pretty good image. It's a little too white in some of these areas, a little too bright, but other than that, pretty good. This one, I think I just was like, oh, I should take a photo today. And then I did. Because this one would have looked better on a non-cloudy day. But I also think I had run out of bright days. This was just like the rest of the week was just going to be cloudy. But it's not bad, I guess. This just would have been better if it was sunshiny or golden hour or something. All right, moving on. Wait. There we go. Moving on. Actually, let's go back. I like the framing of this. I like every part of this except the level of the sky outside. Like that it was so gloomy outside. I like the angle of shooting through this window. I like the reflections in the window, like the panes and stuff. And I like the lighting, the way that it casts down. So the lighting, I wouldn't have been able to get that specific lighting on the edges here and on the window frame if it had been a bright sunny day, because the clouds kind of act as a diffuser against the sun and they make shadows very diffused, which is why these shadows look so good. So I might not have been able to get that, but the house would have looked better if this was in the sky, and the trees would have looked better if it was a sunny day. So pick your poison, I guess. Next photo. This one's cool. I like the reflection of the light in this window here, and the reflection on the door a little bit there, like some cool lines and stuff. And then that's a nice color car. Good depth of field. Interesting framing. Some leading lines-ish, maybe. I don't know. I don't know if that's what you would call these. They don't really lead you anywhere. They're just there. They're just lines. Just lines. Just cool lights and some lines. And then also everything's a little hazy, it looks like. Bro, if I don't stop. Like these tree limbs kind of look hazy, which is interesting. I don't know if they're out of focus, like they're in the depth of field, or if the window was like wet from the rain outside. But there's a lot of contrast down here. And I think that's cool. Even on a cloudy day, you're still getting a lot of contrast, which I think cloudy days are more contrasty. But down here in these details in the trees and the ground and stuff, it's very contrasty, and I think that looks pretty good. All right. Next photo. This is my cousin Curtis's shoes. Very bright, very white. I should have made this darker, but I didn't. I forgot to text him and tell him that I was on a live stream, by the way. He told me to do that. Oh, well, he can catch it later. Sorry, Curtis. But yeah, should have. This was definitely when my film was, when the film camera focusing ring was acting up because I couldn't figure out where to focus. I think it focused right here. We're also a little crooked, which I could fix, but I'm not going to. But this was a cool idea. The puddle, the shoes, the low aperture. That back there looks really cool. The blurriness on those plants looks awesome. And on that pole. But I think that shoe's just a little too bright. I should have toned it down a little bit. But overall, I like that image. I should have done like a rating for each photo. That would have been smart. Starting now, I'm going to do a rating. I give this one a 5 out of 10. The effort is there. The idea is there, but the execution of adjusting the lighting was not there. So I'm saying 5 out of 10. This one's cool. Again, it's a cloudy day. You know, it could be more interesting. It could be less interesting. Who knows? It's just a good picture. Good framing. I'll give this 6 out of 10 for good framing. And then we'll just bump it. No, we'll keep it 6 out of 10 for good framing and getting the car in frame. But if I would have had the shutter speed lower, then this car would be out. It would be blurry, and that would be way cooler. So I should have done that. I'm pretty sure I have a digital version of this picture. And if I say that I have a digital version of a picture, that basically just means that I also took it on digital while I was standing there. Yeah. That's a little cooler, I think. Again, it's kind of hard lighting that day, and this is very purplish compared to the other photo, but the car like blurring by is way cooler than the car just being still. So 6 out of 10 on that one. No, I can't find my place. Where I'm not making very much headway here. Next up, a little campfire action. This one's cool. It's the wrong direction. This one has that green stuff going on, and that makes sense because it was literally like almost nighttime out here. You can just barely see that the sun was barely setting on the other side of those trees. And then the fire looks awesome, obviously. The shutter speed was low enough to make some of the sparks have streaks in them, which is super cool. And then there's my cousin throwing a log on the flame. I like that one. I like the vibe. It's not a perfect photo by any means, but I definitely like the vibe. Don't know what's happening here. Oh, wait, I didn't rate the other one. I give this one a 7 out of 10 for vibes. Vibes alone just bump this up to a 7. Compositionally, it's nice and centered. As far as the settings go, maybe it could have been better, but maybe not. It was. I'm shooting 160 ISO portrait on nighttime, so there's not that much you could do with it. But yeah, here's the fire, I guess. I don't know what did I focus on here. I focused way back there on the van and the house instead of the fire. I'm giving it 3 out of 10. But the colors it's not green in the shadows. Interesting. We'll go 4 out of 10. 4 out of 10. Maybe this would make for a good Instagram story or something. I don't know. We're getting to the end, by the way, of the December photos. So this was after Christmas. I'm back home now. This is after. Actually, I think that was it. Because I took these on that film, but it was a different day. Because of I had like a few shots left on the roll because, there's 31 days in December, but there's 36 shots on a roll. And then I took 2 to start off that weren't. So I'm pretty sure, yeah. So this was number 35 and 36 of the roll, or maybe 36 and 37 to finish off the roll. But I just thought this was interesting framing. Again, there's nothing special about the lighting out here today. This is not too special of an image. Like, would this have been cooler if the sun was setting? If the sun was setting over here and shining lights through the trees all across this would be spectacular. I would have loved it. I would be geeking out about this picture for a long time. But it just was normal lighting. So nothing too special. Maybe I should try to take this photo when the lighting is the way that I think it should be and see what it looks like. But yeah, so this is second to last. I give this one a 5 out of 10. And then the next one is just of a campfire. That was like, I thought that this one was going to be the last photo on the roll, so I guess it's number 36, and then it wasn't. So then I was like, I got to take another one now. So then I took this empty campfire, which again, this could be fixed if you like added contrast to this and just made this more of an interesting photo. I think I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it because this was a throwaway. So I'm going to try to adjust this to where I think it would be cool, because this was more of a throwaway image anyway. I just adjusted some of the colors, and it looks a little better. Maybe give this a little curve. Some green. It's also crazy to me that you can just like edit an image like this, so that's the original, or that's the original, and then that's edited. I do like it a little better, but it's nothing crazy. I didn't do anything crazy to it. The only reason I edited this one is because it's a throwaway image. It was just the last one on the roll, and there's no emotional ties to it. But I do like it. I kind of like it like that. I think that looks a little better than that. So really, the biggest thing is I should have just made it darker. I should have had the shutter speed so low, or I shouldn't have had the aperture so low as well. I should have just made it a little darker. That was the biggest takeaway there. So nice. Okay, so that is the end of my December photo journey. So I took a photo for every day of December, and I think that's all of them. Oh, wait, no. It's not. It's not all of them. This one. Wait. Yes, okay. So there's more. But wait, there's more. Okay, so we're still in December. We're just out of order. Oh yeah, so there's like 5. There's like 5 more. Sheesh. Okay. So this was, again, we're back in Hilton Head. This was a dumpster in a neighborhood, and I thought it was cool looking. It's funny to see like a bad looking dumpster in a nice looking neighborhood. So I took a picture of it. But I like this image pretty well. Good depth of field with the car and everything. Cool reflections bouncing off the car. You can see the sky and the palm tree, which I think is really cool. And then the blue on the palm tree, the blue on the sky of the windshield is a really nice blue. It's like turquoise, but like dark. I like that a lot. And then the white is not too crunched the white's not too blown out in the skylight there. That's pretty good. You got some nice runoff here. A little bit of glow around that. Some halation on the edges. Dang, pretty good image. I give this one a 7 out of 10. I like this one. There's a few 10 out of 10s back there, so that's kind of my standard. I would do a 10 out of 10 if it was my absolute favorite. But this is, I say 7 out of 10. What's next? Oh, yeah, so I did forget about a few. This is really cool. This is really good. I really like the colors here. The morning sun is just so vibrant in my room, and there's good grief. The hard edges of the light around here, around this jeans, denim, and whatever that canvas material is. Gosh, that looks good. And then I think we have a little bit of halation too on that, which is nice. But the colors here just look really neat. That's super cool. Again, if you adjusted this, it's very warm. So if you brought down the temperature, it would probably bounce out and look even cooler. But I'm not trying to do that because this is film. I'm not here to edit film. Some people do edit film, and I might edit it. I've edited it before, and I might edit it again in the future. But with this batch, I feel like I shouldn't edit it. Maybe I'm weird for that. If I'm weird for that, comment that and tell me you're weird for that. It's just a picture. Just edit the darn thing. Moving on. Did I rate this one? I said 9 out of 10 for this one. This one just jumped out at me. I like the depth of field too. The background blur, the focusing right there on the jacket. So yeah, there's a lot of things I like about this. I say 9 out of 10. Next. This one's cool. Dang, this one's cool. I was explaining this to someone the other day, but I have like if I capture an image, then that place or that moment in real life is like kind of engraved into my brain as the image. So like when the fact that I really like this, it might not happen with this photo, but this has happened to photos before in the past. If I like really like them, then when I go back to that place, like this is in my man cave. And so if I go back in there and I see this, I'm going to see this image. And I'm like, there's the picture I took. Rather than just seeing this and being like, oh, that's the man cave, I'm going to go to the man cave and be like, that's the picture. Which is a weird, I don't know if there's a name for that phenomenon or if it happens to other photographers, but it happens to me. And it's for video and photos. But like, there's a couple things where I'm just like it's like this familiarity. And I think it's because it probably won't happen with film as much as digital because I spend so much time with a digital image or a digital, or with a video because I'm editing it and I'm adjusting the colors and I just spend a lot of time staring at it and taking in like every detail. So then when I see that scene back in real life, like I go out of the computer and I go back to real life and I'm like, there's the scene from the one that I've stared at for hours and hours. And it doesn't feel like that. It's not like there's the scene that I stared at from hours and hours. It's like there's that picture. I don't know. I don't really know how to explain it. It's a tricky one. But it happened the other day. And it threw me off. It was one of the scenes it was this same day as the fire. No, that's an orange. It was the same day that we had this fire. I took video and then I made it into a YouTube video and posted it. And there's just one scene of the fire and it just looks amazing. It's dark all around. The fire's glowing really pretty. And there's someone standing beside it. And so then I was back at this house, my sister's house the other day, and we had a fire again. And someone was standing by it and it was dark all around and the fire was glowing nice and someone was standing by the fire and it just was like, I was like, there's the image. There's that one from the YouTube video. And it just kind of, it takes me aback. I guess I'm taken aback. Is that a phrase? I don't know if I'm explaining that well because I don't even understand it myself. That weird feeling of finding your photo in the wild after you've taken it. Anyway, good grief, what a tangent. Back to this photo. I like this one a lot. I like the way the colors are. I like the red and the green table and the green vehicle. Me and my friend Hunter built that Lego Land Rover. I like the sun coming around the air conditioning unit there. I like the side of the chair being visible. I definitely like the depth of field. I'm going to give this one a 9 out of 10. That one's really cool. Both of those, that one and that one, are just, this one's could add you some contrast. But I'm not going to do it. This one looks pretty good. Very contrasty. 9 out of 10. Both of those are 9 out of 10 because I just appreciate them both. This one's really cool. I took this, man, maybe it had to be close to one of the last days. or one of the early days of December. I can't even remember. But I really like this one. I love my shelves. I like all of the Legos on them anyway. And then I love the way that the sun hits them and how those blinds specifically kind of duplicate. Like it's not a perfect, like if you look at other pictures of the reflection or the shadows coming from blinds, they're very, like those are very sharp right there. And then that one is it's like not sharp. There's like multiple facets to it. There's like multiple layers. And I think that looks really cool. That would actually look really cool taking a portrait with that. Oh man, maybe I should do that. That's a really good idea. But that would look really cool. So I like the way that the sun comes through those blinds specifically. And then good depth of field. This is a drum set. There's a drum cymbal right there and a snare. Like an onion, layers. Exactly. We need more onion style blinds, sunset lighting for portraits. I'm gonna have to chase that feeling there. That's nice. So yeah, the shelves, and then this again, you're kind of sticking with the messiness theme. My man cave is never clean. Like I clean it. It's not gonna stink when you go in there. But it's always messy in some kind of way because I'm always kind of moving stuff around. I'm doing something different all the time in there. So it's never like a perfect cleanliness, and I don't think it needs to be either. I mean, it's a stinking man cave. But you got like wood leaning against the wall. That if that light was on right there, it would have been pretty cool, but it might have messed up the vibe. And then the heater light does add a cool effect there. But then the sun shining off the heater, the cord running through it, the drums, and then the fact that the poster is just not hung on the wall and it's upside down, leaned against the bookshelf. It just adds to the environment and it adds to the vibe, and I think that's pretty neat. I'm giving this one 9 out of 10 again. I'm sorry. I just like it. I like it a lot. Next up, there's a golf cart. And I think that this was also a throwaway image. I'm pretty sure. But I don't like this one at all, really. This one, it could use contrast. No, it couldn't. Contrast doesn't save it. I take it back. This is a piece of crap. I don't like this photo at all. It's too bright on the front of the golf cart. There's no contrast, there's no natural contrast, which brings no good color. And I can't even tell what's supposed to be in focus here. So it's a throwaway image because it's a throwaway image. And it was at the end of the roll. So I don't like that one. 2 out of 10. What is this? Okay, this had to have been the last one. This had to have been the last one on the roll. Because, dang, for this one, you can tell I'm kind of thinking about it. This one was probably number 30. See if I ended on 31. This was probably 32, 33, 34, 35. That's still not right. Oh, wait, no. This was probably 34, 35, 36, and then it needed one more, so it was 37. That's what it was. This was number 37. And so you can tell I planned. Like I was like, I'll take the last few. I'll take special pictures for them. So I took this, and it was like, and I'll take the campfire. And I took that, and so I was kind of planning a little bit, but not really. And I was like, I still need one more. Let me get the golf cart, and then it was at 36, and then it still didn't rewind. So I was like, I need one more. All right, 37, whatever. And I just took it of the sky. But still, it's somehow I like this better than the golf cart one, which is funny. This one feels more like contrast. It has more contrast and it has more depth. There's nothing to look at. There's no focal point. Like it's not like you don't look at this and you know what the subject is. It's just a picture. But it might be cool for like an Instagram story. But I honestly like it better than this one. I say this one 4 out of 10. And it's also a good story. Funny story. A good story always makes a photo better. And this one definitely has a good story. It was number 37 on the roll, and I was tired of sitting there waiting on it to be done. So I just was like, bang, took a picture. Just kind of like misfired. This was what's it called in video games when you just shoot? No scope. I no scoped this. This was definitely a no scope, which is funny. I don't know what just happened. And then this, so this is the last picture. I said that a minute ago, but let me make sure. And let me turn it the right direction. This, bruh, is the last picture of the photography for 35. Maybe not. Okay, so we're going to find some random ones in here from December, I think. I'm really confused. Maybe not. Oh, wait, right there. There's 36. There should be one more. 37. There's 37. I think, yeah. Okay. Now I know what I'm looking for. So there's 3 more now of the December photos. This one's pretty cool. This one's really cool, actually. The whites aren't too blown out, which is awesome. This could have been a lot worse, and this was cool. Cool framing, like putting the L shape in here, and then the plants look beautiful, and then the way that they grow up behind the thing. This is my brother's house, and whatever that is, that looks like an alien growing in a jar, but super cool. That actually looks like the rumor weed. Y'all remember the rumor weed from VeggieTales? That's what it looks like. Anyway, you got some dead leaves laying around. This one's cool. I really like this one. Also adds to that homey, messy kind of feel, which is something I was going for. So 8 out of 10. We'll get that one 8 out of 10. All right, and then this was one of the other ones from December. What time is it? 6:03. We're at an hour. Nice. So this is another one from December, and this one's pretty cool. But I pretty much already took this one, which is confusing to me why I took it again. I took the vertical one, and I took it better than this. So I literally probably came back later and was like, or was this downtown? Maybe this wasn't Hilton Head. Maybe this was completely different. So this is the bad thing about getting 2 rolls of developed. 2 rolls of film developed on the same day. I have no idea when I took these. So if I ever do like another photo challenge with film for like 30 days, I'm just going to take that roll by itself and get it developed. Because this is too confusing. I don't know. Either way, I'm pretty sure I took this in Savannah. This looks more like Savannah than it does Hilton Head. I don't know, man. I got no clue. Either way, that's the end. Wait, maybe this one's Hilton Head. I don't know. That's the end of the December photos. Now the question is, should I review the rest of these next week? Or should I review them now? That's the question. Because it's been an hour. And I would like to keep these live streams an hour. And if I start talking about another 36 photos, I'm probably going to go for another hour. So I say tune in next week to live stream of reviewing film next week on Thursday. Are we cool with that? Let's do it. I say we do that. So we're going to view the second half of these photos. So 36 more photos next week from my trip downtown. I took all of them in one day, and I took them with a Canon AE1. So different camera, so a different story. I think it deserves its own live stream. So we'll do that. Next week, on Thursday, I'm going to review the rest of the photos that you see on this image here. I'm going to review these. Ta-da! All right. That's the end of the live stream. So thank you for joining, and I hope you all have a great day. tune in next week for part 2 of reviewing 35mm film with Longfellow Productions. Have a good day, everyone. That's going to be all. I'm going to stop the stream now. I don't know how to end these things. I need to have like an outro song or something. Well, not that I sing. So I play it, like I play a video, and like that's the end. So I don't know. Either way, I'd still probably have to talk to start that. So then I would still be saying an outro. I just got to get better on my outros. Maybe I should write something down. I don't know. I'm just going to end it.